Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 4 of the Collegiate Star League Summer Hearthstone League. We're really glad we can finally bring you coverage of this fun summer event that consists of the 6 top collegiate Hearthstone teams, including reigning CSL champion from last season, British Columbia. I am Bupasaurus, joined by Hades, and tonight we will have the 8th match of the season for these schools as New York takes on Marist in a best-of-5. These teams have already faced each other earlier in the summer, where Marist took a close 3-2 victory over New York, and now are currently sitting atop the standings. New York has the chance to tie it up with Marist with a victory here, so we're really in for a good treat today. How are you feeling, Hades?
I'm feeling pretty good, Boop. Where do you see some Hearthstone being played today?
Yeah, it's gonna be great seeing these two in-state New York teams fighting it out to see, what Marist is trying to do is keep their top spot, and New York is going to try to tie it up with them. And it's kind of a grudge match at this point. Their last series was close, like we said, it was 3-2, and so we're in for, I think, a treat today.
Yeah, another thing to point out is the current standings that we have of these teams.
Yeah. So again, this is a battle for first, or a share first, or for Marist to take that in-state rivalry and make it 2-0 for everybody and kind of claim the top spot there. So as these players are kind of getting ready to get into the game, we're going to check out some of the players at first. So Arnrock, who is their Paladin player, is going to go in against Ipson Cats, who surprisingly, I cannot believe I am saying this, is a Warlock player, has actually had some pretty good success on it so far.
Yeah, the reason why Warlock's very surprising is that with the follow Handlock and Zoolock not being really good for the past 2 expansions now, Boop?
Yeah.
For Zoolock not being that much of a competitive deck for 2 expansions, correct? Ungoro didn't really give them that much power, and
Yeah. No, they've basically had a really hard time getting into the meta so far. But it's actually it's looking like Ipson Cats is playing Priest on this one as the game has started. So let's go ahead and get into the game with a New York University against Marist. And we have Ornrock on Mage and Ipson Cats on that Priest. And they've already gotten started with a pretty good opening with Ipson Cats with those 2 Radiant Elementals. Going to make those spells cost nothing there as the Glimmerroot comes up. And this is a super fun card. The Glimmerroot is going to give them 3 options. Only one is actually in the deck. A pretty easy option here with the Firelands portal, and he's going to really hope that those Radiant Elementals stay on the board because he's going to be able to play that next turn.
a very interesting thing about the Mage is it looks like he might be playing a variation of Freeze Mage with that Frost Nova in his deck. So he can end any really big aggressive plays that the Priest might have by flooding the board early like this.
Yeah, and the Mage is running, looks like a bunch of good Mage decks out there right now. He's running a Frost Nova, so maybe a Freeze variety, but basically the Mage cards are all really good. The Acolyte of Pain kind of shows that it might be a Freeze Mage, as well as he's just going to draw some cards and getting a couple good choices. Freeze Mage, though, what's that? You're a Priest player. What is it like to face that Freeze Mage?
It depends on what priest you're playing. When I used to play a lot of Dragon Priest, and playing Priest was playing Freeze Mage was pretty much an instant loss because you'd get Freeze Mage is just a deck that's really strong against flood the board, very strong value minions, which was what old Dragon Priest was strong doing. And they just freeze you, and then they just keep going until they eventually draw the Alex, and then just fireball you to death. So Priest is actually going to have a hard time because they play to control the board and then just kind of get this really huge value. You see that the Priest player is playing Medivh, so he's trying to value out the Atiesh. He has Lyra too, try to get some value from the Priest spells like that, and just to try to outvalue the Mage.
Yeah, I think the number one card, though, when it comes to this Priest versus Mage matchup is that Priest of the Feast. The Priest of the Feast is going to be able to heal up that Alex. Say you're down to 15, you get a really good run on that Priest of the Feast, you're back up to 30. And he's also running that Greater Healing Potion, so that's just 12 health right back to the face as he's deciding whether to throw this Firelands portal down or maybe put the Lyra down. As he does have the coin, he will be able to get at least one spell from that. I don't know if that would be the best choice from here on out, but yeah, he's going to go ahead and choose the Firelands portal and go ahead and burn that face as a pretty good card comes out. That 4/6 body is really great for the Priest, and only the Mage is only going to get one more card off this Acolyte as that Radiant Elemental does trade out, and the Mage, Priest is wanting that chip damage, and he's getting it right now as the Mage is all the way down to 17 health.
The thing I noticed, though,
comes out and has got to deal with that Firelands portal. That's huge.
Yeah, but the thing to know is that the Mage does have both his ice blocks in his hand, so he does have essentially 2 free turns after the Priest gets him low to try and do something, which is why Freeze Mage has always been really strong. He also has the Ice Barrier that kind of blocks some of this chip damage coming in, but it looks like the Priest is actually looking to play Lyra and then go for that free Power Word Shield to start the cycle.
Yeah, and he's going to get the coins, so we'll see. Any other spells that come out are also going to be discounted by 1. That Mage is very, very lucky that she was able to get that other Radiant Elemental out, because this would have been rough if that wasn't the case. As he is going to get 5 more chip damage, but he's got a silence there too now.
Yeah, the thing is, the mind games actually might be really big here, because any minions that Freeze Mage runs, he either gets the low end of the curve, might draw an Acolyte from the deck, or he might even get the Alex, or if the Mage is running a Archimage Antonitis, running a Medivh, those are some really big minions to get out and put on your board.
Yeah, and I do like silencing his Glimmer here, and he's getting a second Mind Games there. That might be coming up. It's always really nice to see these cards that don't normally get played get thrown out by cards like Lyra, so we get to see what kind of magic that they might be able to give us here, as the Mage is already at 12 health, so Ornarok is looking to get that freeze going. He does have both of his ice blocks in hand at this point, as the second Fireball is going to have to be used on a minion, and I think for the Mage player that just does not feel good. You really want to use that after the Alex, the double Fireball Frostbolt is a very, very popular play amongst them, as we're going to get to see these mind games pop out and see what kind of RNG is going to happen.
Yep. As I talked, the Medivh
comes out. Good call, Hades.
Yeah, it seems he's going for the more value. There's a second one. Gets a second Medivh.
Medivh again. It might be the only minion left. Yeah. You never know. But it is a Freeze Mage. They've never really had a problem with minions, and he does have 2 ice blocks. Some priests are running a tech of Eater of Secrets I have seen on ladder recently. I'm not sure if Ips is running that right now, but that would be pretty brutal. That's pretty much a win if he's able to take that. But we'll see here. Doomsayer, the Frost Nova Doomsayer combo would be huge here, but he doesn't have that. He is going to be able to freeze this board and maybe wait 1 more turn with the ice block. He can try to play it safe by playing it now as well.
The thing about Priest is it doesn't have really good burn damage. Obviously, you have Mind Blast, you have Holy Fire, but those aren't cards that you run in a Priest deck nowadays. Unless you're going for a Shadow Priest deck. But so he actually doesn't have to be scared. Huh? For Mind Games?
When was the last time? I really wish.
That was
I really wish.
That was beginning of Hearthstone, I think. You maybe run that in a Control Priest. No, you run in the Velen Beam deck. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Velen. What a great card. Quote unquote great card. Only for your personal opinion.
Yeah.
As Ice Barrier is going to come out and provide him with 8 more armor. He's not going to be able to trigger that this go round, though, because he is frozen up. And what he's really going to try to do, too, is get the Mage to that 1 health, as well as this control versus control matchup. You really want to try to get that Mage to burn down, really get that to 1 health in case this does go into fatigue.
Yeah, another thing to note is that you just play the Arcanologist, or however you say it, because I am illiterate. But when he played it, he didn't draw another secret, so it means he doesn't have another ice block in his deck. So this is all he has. He has the 2 ice blocks, and he just plays only Ice Barrier.
Yeah, and drawing that Doomsayer must have been brutal for him this turn, because if he had it last turn, this might be a totally different board for him.
That's actually really good.
As the secondary bruiser comes out, it does, and it's going to trigger. He's going to have to trigger that Ice Barrier, so he is going to get that extra 8 armor, but he's still going to. Also, if he does play, he's not going to play the ice block this time, so he's really hoping that the Priest has no way of getting down to getting the Mage down to 0 health, which I believe is probably not going to happen. As Medivh's Valet, great card in this meta right now. That 3 damage, it's pretty much an Ice Bolt, Frost Bolt, but with a minion as well. So looking good going against that Glimmer Root. Finally gets that down. Really high value on that Glimmer Root, as well as the Mage does kind of hold it together here.
Mind Control. That's interesting.
Fancy pants. Some fancy play going around with that mind control. You won't be able to use that on the next turn. I mean, it could, like you said, there are a lot of really big minions coming out of this mage deck. Really interesting tech card, but I think the dream here, yes, is the free from Amber with the Atiyesh with the Medivh. So he's going to get to play his third Medivh. When was the last time you got to say that?
I played a game where I had 3 Lyras one time.
Yeah, that's still not the same thing. So we're going to see our third Medivh in this staff out as well, unless this mage has a Harrison or has something else. We're probably going to see all 3, or an ooze. We're probably going to see all 3 charges of this Atiyesh go down, and that free from Amber can be brutal. 2 8-cost minions and there's some good 8-cost minions out there. Could be spell the end for this mage as the second Frost Nova comes out. So we do have the Frost Nova Doomsayer going down, and it's probably not gonna. Yes, it probably will go ahead and get rid of this board unless he is able to draw a Pain.
Yeah, the thing is that this doesn't matter. Oh, draws the free from Amber too. This doesn't matter at the priest. This is the priest game. The mage is on the ticking clock here. Draws the Alex, but he doesn't have enough burn in his hand, and this priest is just going to probably death it. He probably doesn't even do. He probably will death it this next turn and then start free from Amber.
Yeah, I mean, he's got. Here's that Priest of the Feast combo that we were talking earlier. So Alex draws a Desperation play. Go to minions earlier. So, good card. So that's even going to help him heal even more every time it does damage. It will probably be classified as life steal coming up in the next expansion with that Frozen Throne. But again, we're already back at 20 health with no fireballs. So this Primordial Glyph, though, can make things interesting, but the mage is still in a pretty deep world of hurt right now.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what he could draw from the Primordial Glyph to win in this game. He has 20... He has to get through 20 health, and he doesn't know this, but the priest is sitting on the Greater Healing Potion, which can get him up 12. Like, he's going to Power Blast this turn, and the priest is going to play a Greater Healing Potion, and it's going to be a gain of 2 health, basically, from last turn.
Yeah, and it's going to get an extra amount of health from that Priest of the Feast.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be 15.
Yeah, so that's Alex right there. So he's going to get 15 health and a minion with that Spellbreaker coming down. 4 damage, nothing to scoff at. And, we've got 2 more health coming up too with that Wicker Flame. Getting that 2 extra health once it does hit face. Does he know that this isn't a Vaporize or something? I'm pretty sure he does. So he's just going to go face here. Get even more health. Alex Straza pretty much never happened as he is back at 29 health. But again, Ornok had no choice but to play that Alex at that point in time.
He had to go for it. He was running out of time. So he's going for the Primordial, trying to grab something.
Ooh, a Flame Strike makes things interesting. Still or Frost Nova, but again, he's in a pretty deep spot right now. Flame Strike is going to be able to wipe the board outside of the Wicker Flame.
And the Priest.
Yeah, well, he's going to be able to... and he does concede.
Yeah. The thing about that is that the Freeze Mage plays, they stall the board out, they draw their burn cards, which are the Fireballs Boop mentioned earlier, the Pyro that you played earlier, and the Alex. And then sometimes you have variations that have Antonidas, so you constantly have Fireballs, and then you just go for the burn with the Alex, and the next turn just burn him out. But the thing is, he had to use all his burn for removal, so he actually had no win condition left. He was just kind of hoping that he might get something from Primordial that magically changes the game. But after using all that burn to just board control early, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I think the kind of in that mage versus priest matchup, when you see the mage start to use that burn and they're hitting those minions, it's a pretty bad situation already. That control priest has a pretty high win percentage against that mage deck, against the top 2 mage decks on the ladder right now. And we just saw why. Even when the mage can maybe get a head start at the beginning of the game and get some of that burn damage early, we just saw him heal up, I think 19 or 20 health in one turn.
But he went 15.
And so, he went 15, then +3, then +2. So you guys can do the math in your head, since you guys are all super smart. And, they were able to just nullify the Alex Straza together with the death that's going to take care of those big minions. The mage needs to win that super, super fast, and that's just not what happened. So Marist goes up 1-0 on New York, and that's got to be feeling pretty good. Getting that first game under wraps always feels good, and momentum is something that you definitely have to consider when it becomes when you're playing games like this. But we are now going into game 2 with Not a Rapper versus Crazy Barnacles, who has a pretty good win rate on his Druid, but it is Druid, and looks like it is Jade Druid against a Warrior here. So what are you thinking about this, Hades?
I think this honestly comes down to who gets a better draw. If the Jade can get those like early Jade openings, like the Jade Blossom, Earth and Scales is a really big card in this matchup, and can like stall out the Warrior, that's really big. But if the Warrior just gets like turn 1, I always forget, the Corsair into patches and just starts going crazy. Actually, we actually see the Jade Blossom. This is actually a really good hand for the Druid.
Yeah, we are going to be here for a while because this is Taunt Warrior. So I think
it's
the
Taunt.
Jade Druid probably the Taunt Warrior, someone who loves RNG and also likes being annoying. The Taunt Warrior is one of those quest decks, so he is going to try to play those 7 taunts as the Jade Druid gets a really good opening start here. He's going to be able to coin out that Jade Blossom, which is a wild growth with a minion. However, Armorsmith I've seen some Armorsmiths go off in these Taunt Warrior decks if drawn well. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it here as the Jade Blossom does come out. And we already have a 2/2 Jade on turn 2 for this Jade Druid. So doing it well.
He just drew the Jade Spirit too, which curves perfectly into his mana curve. So he'll play that and have the 3/3 Jade already by turn 4, which is huge in this matchup.
Yeah, it is huge in any matchup. So the point of Jade Druid, they're just going to try to overwhelm you by creating an infinite amount of Jades. That Jade Idol, the first one, you're probably always going to choose to make the Jade. Even on turn 1, you don't want to add those copies in yet because you've got a second copy. And then throughout this deck, you've got a lot of different ways, especially the Jade Spirit. You've got Eye of Blackpaw as well that are going to make more Jades. But he's already at a 3/3 Jade on turn 3. At 4 mana, Kerbin out of control with this Auctioneer on turn 6, ready to go. He's going to want to take some more cards in before that happens. But like I was saying, the Jade Druid is going to try to overwhelm you. The Taunt Warrior, though, especially after it gets its new hero power, can take care of it. But there is a point where these Jades do get over 8 health, and that's when I think the Jade Druid kind of overpowers the Warrior still. So
it's the reason why Jade has been commonly known as the control killer, basically, because control has a lot of options to get rid of cards, but it can only deal with big minions so much, and especially with you get like a really good turn where you have you're almost out of cards and you're just constantly cycling the Jade Idol with a Gadgetzan on board. Like a control deck can't do anything against that.
Yeah, and so the Jade Druid, this is a great matchup on a Barnacle's end. He's really going to be looking to get out in front here, and he's doing everything right so far. I mean, when you're good at Hearthstone, you're drawing the right cards, right? So
yeah, that's how you be skillful at this game.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be able to slow it down. Not a Rapper is on that Warrior, but
the thing is, he does have the Alleyway Armorsmith here, which is a 2/7 taunt, and he'll wipe the board with that. Currently, the Barnacles has no way of getting through it. He'll have to pop the Feral Rage or the Earthen Scales right now to get through it. Actually, electing not to and just going to go with Sleep with the Fishes.
Yeah, great wave clear for the Warrior here. Sleep with the Fishes does only do damage to damaged characters. As Nourish comes out, he's going to draw 3 cards.
A lot of cards,
here
refill his hand. That's really big for the Druid. Oh, drawing
Aya
too.
And gets Aya and the Behemoth.
And Feral Rage.
This guy is just jaded out of control. So
we were talking earlier about the Jade having a good curve, and he curved out immensely in this matchup here.
Immensely. Yeah. This could not be going better for him, to be honest. So as the Alley Armorsmith comes out, yes, Yogg.
I would
love to say that. While the Warrior is going to be able to get a lot of that armor in, you can't, underestimate that Earthen Scales as well. You put that on a big Jade, you're going to get as much armor as the Alley Armorsmith is on your Druid. Along with the Jade Behemoth, Taunt, and other things, it's hard to get that chip damage into that Druid as well. So that Taunt Warrior wants to get as much chip damage as possible, so he could utilize that new hero power with Sulfuras to the best of his ability, but that's just not really looking like that's going to happen right now, as he does draw the Curator, which is going to get him some card draw, put another Taunt on the board, and he is 3 away from completing that quest.
Drawing off the Direhorn's Hatchling and the Primordial, which will actually be really big, and like doing a little bit board clear with the Primordial. It's a really big card too, hard to get through. So Jade Druid's actually gonna have a hard time. As most people know, Druid's biggest weakness is getting rid of big minions like the Primordial, because they don't have any like cheap removal cards like Execute, Polymorph, Hex, stuff everyone else hates.
Yeah, the way that Druids get rid of big monsters by getting big monsters of their own. So that's, again, what we're seeing right now. Looking at his hand, he already has a 5/5 with Aya Blackpaw, and then with her Death Rattle, it's a 6/6, with the Gadgetzan Auctioneer looking great for that turn 10 with that Wild Growth and that free card draw. So he's going to get at least 3 cards by turn 10 if he does decide to play it that way. Fingers crossed, he all of a sudden forgets to play Hearthstone and uses Yogg-Saron on turn 10, because I think that's what we'd all like to see. But
that's what you're supposed to do. You have Yogg in hand, you play on 10, easy.
Done. So Jade Druid playing a very clean game so far as well, but the Taunt Warrior is too, as he's pretty much at 39 health.
Oh, he just drew the Dirty Rat. He's 50-50 chance of drawing Yogg.
Yeah, this could be really disappointing for Barnacles. You've got to be really nervous anytime you throw out Dirty Rat. Probably not going to do it until he completes the quest,
Probably
is
not.
what I'm thinking. So he has some ability to remove that. Basically, looking at the Warriors cards here, what are his options moving on? Since he's seeing these Jades, he's seeing this board get developed, and he's looking at his hand, what is he thinking?
It's just really hard to see what he can do. He's at 8 mana, so he can play the Primordial. He'll clear the 4/2, and he'll put the board in a semi decent board state. But at the same time, it's still not going to get rid of anything. And again, when Aya dies, it's another 6/6, and he still has more Jade in the way. He probably wants to keep the Execute for a really big Jade or for something bigger in the deck, just something he can't get rid of without executing it. He does have the shield block, which he's using right now, so he's probably going to just cycle, get some more armor. He's at 15 armor, actually, so the Jade Druid's actually going to have some hard time getting through this.
Yeah. Let's see what he chooses to do here. He can choose to play the Auctioneer this turn, getting a bunch of cards drawn as well. The Druid's version of Miracle is definitely alive and well here. We'll see what he chooses to do here, though, because he's got a lot of options. This is where Hearthstone really becomes like chess. There are many different ways he can play this, but one is definitely of a higher percentage and what he needs to try to do. So I think that he should probably drop the Gadgetzan Auctioneer.
It depends on how greedy the player is, actually, because he's at 9 mana right now. If he waits until the next turn, the Wild Growth turns into 2 spells. One, the original Wild Growth, and the Living Mana, which can use to draw a card. So Gadgetzan automatically gets 3 cards off that, which he actually seems like he's doing.
He could have done that this turn as well. With it's only 8 mana to do, so he's just going to clear the board.
Yeah, but he doesn't get the Living Mana off of it.
Is what he's trying to do this time, as one of those big Direhorn Matriarchs does enter the hand of another Rapper. So when that Direhorn did die, we've got a big 5-drop coming up, and see who he draws, and it is the Auctioneer. Does he have a way of dealing with this? He does. So maybe dropping it that last turn would have been the good play, because he does have the option to execute it after using that Whirlwind. Do you think that's the best play here right now?
The thing is, it is a big threat, and he's probably going to have to deal with it. It can't feel good to use it on a 4/4, though, when he knows that big Jade's coming in the future. He's gonna sack Aya this next turn into the Dirty Rat, and he's gonna have a 6/6 and a 5/1.
Ooh,
and there's the Wild Growth.
On that execute. The 4/4 body might not be that huge, but think of what it would have provided, knowing that Wild Growth came, and a Wrath coming up as well. He would have been able to get 4 cards here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the execute went well. I think
I agree. It was probably his best play.
Closing on the ramp for sure.
Yeah, it was his best play, but it can't feel good, is what I meant.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the Dirty Rat play feeling pretty good. Yeah, with the Innervate, getting rid of that Auctioneer.
Huge turn.
Yeah, he would have been able to cycle through a lot of his deck at this point. Yeah, so he is waiting for this Eye of Black Ball to die because it will be a stronger minion after it does as a 5.
It makes sense because he's playing around board. He's playing around board control. I mean, board clear right now because having a death rattle always like deals with that. But there's a Direhorn Matriarch 6/9. He doesn't actually way of dealing with that, and then the quest is completed as well. So he's probably gonna play that this turn and then use the hero power.
So what this means, though, is that the warrior no longer can gain armor hero power. And that armor might be really important in this matchup, as the die insect does hit the Jade. But, oh, here it is. Who needs one Auctioneer when you've got two? So now we've got this Auctioneer coming up, and we're about to see a ton of cycling. And definitely going to start with that Innervate. Man, he's about to draw so many cards. Gonna probably then end up with the rest. So as he's going through this, he's really looking for more of those Jade cards, maybe his second Jade idol, so he can try to cycle those through and get more Jades on the board. He's got a choice here. He can try to do it for 1 damage to draw 2 cards, or the 3 damage and just draw the 1. And it looks like he is choosing to draw 2 cards on this play as one of the best cards in the game right now. Primordial Drake does get charged. Here is that Jade idol. So that is huge. So he's going to choose to do the copies because he already used his other Jade idol earlier. But with the way that this is going, he is probably going to be able to cycle through. Actually, looks like he did just draw the Jade Behemoth, and he's not going to be able to get lucky and top deck that other Jade idol. But man, that was a ton of cards. So looking at their decks right now, the Druid has drawn 4 more cards than the Taunt Warrior. The Taunt Warrior can no longer armor up on his hero power. Earthen Scales goes down on the Auctioneer, as we've got 2 high health players right now. Not a Rapper with 29 health and 4 armor, and Barnacles at 27 and 7.
The thing about the Warrior, though, is that I actually think tempo is swinging his way right now. He has the 6/8 on board. He can clear this Auctioneer. He has the get rid of anything that has 8 or less health hero ability right now, and then he's got a lot of he still has the Alleyway Armorsmith and his regular Armorsmith as well to gain armor, and he still has his second Execute, so he actually has a lot of tools to deal with what the Druid comes out with.
He does. So I think this is where the Warrior can definitely take over some of the momentum that the Druid started out with. But again, I think the next Jade that the Druid is going to come out with is 7/7. So the Druid is looking for 2 more Jades, and by that point, the hero power is not going to be able to take him down. So basically, the Warrior is deciding now if he wants to take it out with a minion or try for his hero power. He's going to look to either use that on face, but he's hovering over it now, so he's going to see if that's going to be able to take out that minion, and it doesn't. It goes face as the Primordial Drake comes down, and he's going to just go take out that Auctioneer thanks to that 2 damage from that Primordial Drake. And here is that Jade idol. So he is going to be able to get that 8/8 Jade out and a Nourish in hand. Not going to be able to play all of that in 1 turn, but these Jades are starting to get big. The Warrior does, I think, have a little bit of time. I think he's got to have a lot of really good hits on that hero power, but we'll see. We'll see what he's going to be able to do too. As Earthen Scales comes out, and is going to give him 9 armor as well.
Yeah, it's really about how long this game goes, because if the game goes to fatigue, the Jade just wins, because he keeps cycling Jade idols, keeps putting it back in his deck, and it just gets bigger. There is no fatigue. Yeah, there is no fatigue for the Jade Druid. Whereas the Warrior's running out of cards. He has 11 cards, but he does have 5 in hand right now. He can deal with his board currently if he gets a lucky, what it was called, hero ability. But he is running out of time, and he does have to deal with 30 health worth of damage to the Druid to win this game.
Yeah, all of that armor he got earlier is gone at this point. So we've actually got a Druid with more armor than the Warrior. That's why I was a little concerned about switching that hero power.
He has 2 Feral Rages in hand, too, so he technically has 16 more health he can get. Yeah,
so I mean, this Warrior's got to do some damage. It's got to do it to face, but we've got a couple taunt minions on Barnacles' end as well that are going to make that a lot harder, as the Direhorn Matriarch is going to take out that Behemoth. Ooh, that is exactly what did not need to happen, as he's going to need to use that Drake to take that out.
Yeah, very unfortunate. He wanted the 7/7 to probably get rid of. Now he has a 7/5 on board. Now the Druid player has a lot of options. He can Primordial, clear the Direhorn, and then probably kill one of the Primordials himself, and then you just have a Drake stare down. Going to actually go for the swipe, and that's also another good option there.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take out that 7 health Primordial Drake, and he's going to be able to live with that 7/1. That is annoying.
And summon a 9/9.
Yep, and we're probably going to be able to see some 10/10 Jades here as the warrior is running out of answers. Drew a Brawl, so is going to be able to possibly clear the board and get 8 more damage to face. What the Druid doesn't have is actually anything that makes it possible for him to create more Jades. But with that Nourish and 7 cards left, there is a high probability that he's going to draw 1 or even 2 Jade Idols through that. So a little bit of concern there, but the warrior now is kind of thinking, am I gonna use my hero power to try to get rid of that 7/1 or 2/3? Am I gonna run the Drake into the 9/9? Hades, what do you see him doing here?
Again, very hard. I think he might just go for the just play double Armor Smith and to go for the hero ability. He has the hero ability to try and remove something off the board. He doesn't really want to brawl this because, as you said, he has the Jade Idols in his deck. He has to be greedy with that brawl because he's running out of time and he has to get as much value out of it as possible. So yeah, he's going to hero ability here. Hits the 2/3, which is really bad. He wanted to hit at least one of the other things. Yeah, he's just running out of options. Going to actually execute the 9/5. And Sleep with the Fish is the other one, and Armor Smith. That's actually a very interesting thing. Yeah, he's running out of options.
Yeah, I mean, correctly calling, though, that he doesn't have any of the Jades in his hand right now, as the Jade Idol does come up right now. And he actually has a choice here. He can maybe shuffle 3 more and then Nourish after that to try to get a bunch of Jade Idols and just ramp them up really quickly. But choosing to Nourish first as a Jade Blossom even comes up. This is looking pretty beefy for this Jade Druid. And like we said all the way at the beginning of this matchup, the Jade Druid has got to create huge Jades in order to win, and that is exactly what Barnacles is doing.
Yeah, at this point, I honestly have a hard time thinking the Warrior can win. Even with the Brawl, that's only 1 Brawl he has in hand, and if he brawls this board, he gets rid of 10/10 and a... Oh wait, he chose to shuffle that one. Conservative with that, but he has a 3/5 and a 10/10 on board right now, and if he chooses to brawl this, there's still a chance a 10/10 lives, which is really bad for him. Kills a 3/5, which is good, but he needs to get rid of this.
Ooh, Stonehill Defender, another great card that came out of that Ngoro package. Probably going to get the Hatchling, so he can get another minion in his deck as well. He's going to be able to... He's got some choices. 5 mana, he's only got 5 drops in his hand. Probably going to play the Hatchling, and he does. So the 10/10 is still online with another Jade Idol in his hand, and I think he shuffled it because I think he had used 2 out of the 3 copies.
I believe that was actually the second one. I think he had 1 more in his deck.
Yeah, and he's still got 2 Feral Rages, so not only does he have no possibility of getting fatigued, he also has 16 extra armor. We're actually probably going to see that used as attack power at this point, as the
10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12 with this game.
Has 32 damage on board with a 12/12 Jade Golem on tap as well. So he's going to have to brawl, either hope that he or the 10/7 wins. Going to take that out, so he's got a 50-50 chance of winning this brawl. So far, with what's on the table, but Ali Armorsmith coming out, not going to brawl anymore. Keeping those 2... Oh, I see. He's trying to get more of that armor, but I mean, against a 12 and an 11 attack minion, I doubt that's going to help much. Even though the brawl's gonna...
He'll gain 2 more armor from the Armorsmith when he runs it into that. And then get a little bit more... Oh, he might actually get a lot of this Primordial, but the Druid might not just care.
Yeah, I mean, he's got huge minions. Like, why should he? So, hey, you're gonna get a bunch of armor. Well, here, have it, and then we're gonna take it right away from you, as this is gonna help clear the board. And he is gonna have to get rid of those taunts as well. He's gonna gain, I think, 3 more armor through this, but all of his Jades are going to live. But we're at another point now where the Brawl might be able to take them down, as the Ravaging Ghoul is alive, as double Brawl in the hand. Not going to do much right now. He's going to go ahead and use one as they all go into the ring, and let's see who's going to come out of it. And it looks like it is going to be the strongest of the minions, but here we go. The Giant Insect is going to go and clear the board. So Barnacles, top decks.
Here's a real question.
Top deck it with 3 cards in your deck, but he's got a 13/13 up there.
I want to know if Barnacles was a man of honor and just would have dropped the Yogg on an empty board. Just have him end the game.
Yeah, and props to Notaraptor really hanging in there. I think playing really cleanly this whole time, doing the best that he can. But again, the Jade Druid showed why it's so strong, and I think it, tier 1 deck, and we see why. What other deck is going to be able to consistently get 8 to 15 attack minions on the board as the Fandral comes down, and some of that is going to hurt so bad if he's able to get a couple more of those Jades, and the cycle will continue. Please play Yogg-Saron though. Fingers crossed.
We as the casters just will want to see that Yogg because it's the most interesting part. But we keep talking about how good this Jade Druid is, but the thing is, the Jade got its best matchup. Jade is really good at the control decks, which is what a Taunt Warrior... Well, I guess a Taunt Warrior is more of like a tempo control deck, but still, it's a deck that wants to go to late game, start taking you out with that hero power, and just controlling the board. But Jade can just keep going with you. He can keep making these large minions, and as I said earlier, the control eventually runs out of options and just dies to the army of Jade.
Yeah, it's Harrison Jones not really going to help out here. Things not looking that great as Fandral goes down. Still going to have to take 13 to face, and hopefully, hopefully Yogg-Saron, but he doesn't like to have fun. So we're going to see it. We're going to see him go to here, so he's got more than enough for lethal on the next turn with 41 armor as well to face. I don't see the Warrior coming out of this as a Bloodhoof Brave comes down, but like you said, the Druid is good against those control matchups, so we really just saw a Jade Druid clinic just then. I don't think that game could have gone better for him. Those opening 4 or 5 turns there were perfect.
Like, this wasn't just like a good matchup for the Druid. The Druid drew like a perfect curve at the beginning. I honestly don't think it could have been better. Now,
do it.
No, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. No, God, people just
come on, man.
No one has a sense of fun anymore. I wait for my Lord and Savior Yogg-Saron every day.
What's the worst that could happen?
He kills himself with 4 Pyroblasts to the face.
Yeah, the chances of that happening are slim to none. Probably going to kill the Yogg-Saron before it. As this Direhorn Matriarch comes out, big minion. I don't think the Warrior has any other way of getting cards. They both execute down, both brawls down.
He has no way of getting rid of these. Like, he can only stand in the way, really.
Yeah.
Hey, exactly. If I were War Axe, he can.
So he could commit seppuku here if he would like. So he is going to go ahead and. Yeah, he's been an honorable guy. The thing about Hearthstone is a lot of people quit really early when you never know what's going to happen. Some crazy things have happened. We all saw Pavel back in the day with Paveling Book, and anything can happen in this game. So
the thing about this actually is the Warrior might actually be able to kill him if he puts enough taunts in the way.
That's true. If he gets enough hero powers to face, and maybe it'll have to be a Yogg-Saron there as the second Fiery War Axe, both of them at the bottom of his deck, as he's actually able to get rid of 1 more minion. And you're right, he's only going to need to land 2. This would be crazy. He's only going to need to land 2 of those to his face to win. So that's
does he shuffle or does he just go for it at this point? Oh no, he's shuffling.
No, I think he shuffles.
Yeah, he's just running out of minions.
Yeah, but so is the Warrior. He's only got 2 cards in his deck. But again, if he is able to live 1 more turn after this, which he might...
Dirty Rat! No!
Good. At least he got the emote out of it. Oh man, that is one of the most disappointing things I have ever seen in my life. You deserve that, Yogg-Saron. You deserve that.
This is what we get.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we get for having hope and dream in this world. We just dashed and with that dirty rack. What an aggravating card, by the way.
Yeah.
Love it and hate it. It feels good when you're doing it. It feels terrible against it.
It's a dirty push of mine to pull Medivh and Alex Strazas out of my opponent's hand and then Shadow Word Death them.
Yeah,
you know that,
how
Boop.
that feels. I do. I think it was like 3 games in a row you were able to take my Alex out.
All skill.
And Not a Rapper finally does go down. Valiant effort on his end. Played cleanly himself, but just got burned by the matchup there. Had the opportunity, made it interesting, both part way through the late game and on the very, very late game there, with those rag hits, just needing to hit that face, getting through a lot of the armor so far.
Yeah, as I said, he put up a really good showing though. Like he came really close. If he got I wasn't keeping track of his deck well enough, but if he had more taunts in the deck and just put stuff in front of the Jade, he could have just gone face and won.
Yeah, so it is Crazy Barnacles putting Marist, the Codmen, up 2-0 against the NYU Violet Teachers, who are now down 0-2. They are going to have to sweep the next 3 games in order to take that victory. But one more thing. It is almost time for the 2017 and 18 season, and we have jobs on jobs and jobs, Hades, lined up and open for the taking.
Tell me
from
more,
graphic designer. Yeah, I will. From graphic designers, admins, and community managers, the CSL wouldn't be what it is now without the talented group that's brought in every year. If you think you're ready to be a part of the best collegiate esports organization, then type in jobs in chat or !jobs in chat, or head over to CSStarLeague.com to find out more information. For Hades, I am Boopasaurus. We are going to take a quick break. We will be back soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CSL Hearthstone Summer League. Welcome back to the Collegiate Star League Summer Hearthstone tournament, where I am Bupasaurus and I am with Hades. So, as the players are getting ready, we are up 2-0 on the side of Marist against New York. So we saw two really clean games from Marist on those first two games, and they're really looking good right now as the Violet Teachers are really going to have to win these next three games in order to have any shot at moving on here and taking that victory.
Yeah, it's been a really unfortunate for NYU here. The first game, it looked like we didn't get to catch the beginning, but it looked like the Priest just got a really good draw, flooded the board early, and the Mage just could not deal with it, had to use its burn. And then the second one, which is a very unlucky matchup, again, really good curve by Marist on the Jade Druid to just flood the board with the Jade, and the Taunt Warrior eventually just ran out of options. Though did put up a really good matchup, almost killing the Druid there at the end.
Yeah, so Marist again looking good, but you know what else is the Twitch collegiate community. From the CSL to the rest of the collegiate world, Twitch has created a community page for viewers to keep tabs on all things collegiate. So go to twitch.tv/communities/collegiate or follow @TwitchStudent on Twitter. It's easy. Just click on them and check it out, what the collegiate world is doing. So what's really, really exciting about that is as esports grows, so does the collegiate esports world. And as someone who I've always loved NCAA sports over any professional sports, there's that true passion and that true, grit that goes along with them. Representing your school and trying to bring home the wins, for your university is an amazing feeling. So I'm really excited that collegiate esports is finally taking some steps forward and looks like it's about to break through.
Yeah, there's a lot of new organizations popping up every day to throw college tournaments. And even every year, more colleges are offering scholarships for gamers to be like professional athletes in a sense, to actually like go to college and play video games, which is really big for this big industry here, getting us more popular.
It's awesome because your mom can't be like, you're never going to do anything with that. And now you can look your mom right into the eye and say, yes, I can. And it's going to pay for my school. And one day we'll pay for everything that you will ever need, Mom. So esports is a thing that can happen and will happen for you if you put in the grit and the determination and the practice. And really mad respect to these guys, because in order to be this good at a game, you really have to do that practice. And, even with you, Hades, you're still in school, you're still doing your stuff, and to, handle that along with your esports growth can be really hard, but props to these guys for being awesome and really showing the NCAA community what esports can go into as we're going into the game. So we have Ches versus Two-Leg Chair here, and we are going to see what kind of matchups they're going to bring, as it's looking like Ches will be a mage and Two-Leg Chair will be the shaman. So we probably are going to see, a similar hybrid freeze deck, or maybe just the regular mage deck that we've all seen from the last couple weeks. That hybrid deck, I think, becoming really, really popular just recently, as we have, I think, a token shaman here on Two-Leg Chair.
That's definitely token. Going to get the Bloodsteel Corsair here. Playing that, and then drawing patches early. That's always fun, getting patches to the face on turn one.
Yep, along with that Flame Tongue Totem on turn. That's exactly what you want. So potentially getting both 6 damage on face right away. And this token shaman can be really, really hard for any deck to deal with. The mage is pretty well equipped for it.
Yeah,
to an extent.
The Flame Tongue is probably coming out on turn 2 here, but the Mage can answer with a Frostbolt if he doesn't use it here. But if he's going to do something here, I feel like he's going to coin Primordial Glyph, not the Frostbolt. Oh, going to coin Ping, actually, which is, I guess, smart. He's worried that the Shaman might just overrun the board and he won't answer. So coin Ping to get rid of the patches. Though I still think the play here is to play Flame Tongue, or he might just play it slow and use a Totem.
Yeah, and so Token Shaman is getting a bunch of minions on the board, hopefully getting your Doppelgangster down, which is going to create 3 2/2s that are all 6/6s, and then eventually evolving that, and then Bloodlusting.
5/5s.
This Shaman, yeah, well...
They turn into 6/6s.
Yes, 2/5/5s, and they turn into two 6/6s. Thanks, Hades. And so I think the Flame Tongue Totem is a good hit for this Frostbolt. If you let that live, that can really get out of control.
But the Shaman has a good turn here, just playing the Mana Tide, and now the Mage doesn't have an answer to it. He knows he's just used a Frostbolt. The likelihood that he has a second Frostbolt in hand is very low, and now he's just going to be able to draw. Draws the Primal Fin, which is really big in this matchup as well. That summons a 1/1 at the end of every turn. So just going to get a lot of value out of that now.
Yeah, the Volcanic Potion would have been really nice. Volcanic Potion, though, with that 2 damage, leaves those totems up, but can help with the ping on the next turn if there are no, for some reason, a healing totem lives at the end of another turn. As we get it devolved, that's actually Shaman aggressive. This Shaman does not want to have this Mage draw any cards. As a public defender, I think one of the best art on any card in this game. I love the gold version. Just it's a Tauren with a briefcase. Can't get any better than that, man. It's just actually so cool.
The Shaman actually probably did like a really good play there, though, because the thing about Mage is that, and I, as an old freeze Mage player myself, you just like, you have to draw into the answer. You have a specific card for a specific situation, and if you don't have it during that situation, you're kind of screwed. So it was looking like the Acolyte there was going to get 3 draws because he only had one damage minions on the board, so he could like ping, trade, and then that's 2 cards right there the next turn. And you don't want to give Mage options, because if you give them options, they're just going to deal with your board and then kill you.
And no finer words.
Yep, that's the point of this game, is to just go face all the time.
Yeah, the thing about the Mage is that you're trying to make it to that late game, and you have a lot of bird, you have clear Volcanic Potions usually getting run, maybe not, maybe getting taken out for the Doomsayer and the Frost Nova. But Medivh's Valet has got that 3 damage is going to come in handy, but he's got no secrets in hand, so those totems are going to stay up. As the Maelstrom Portal comes out, he is looking for that Bloodlust for this next turn.
Yeah, the Shaman draws a Flame Tongue too, which is going to be really big next turn. But the Mage actually did draw the Mirror Entity last turn, or he didn't. He got it from the Primordial Glitch, so he actually could do that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He could do that in Medivh's Valet, but the board's actually really big. What does he Medivh Valet? Does he get rid of the card draw from the Shaman? Does he get rid of the Primal Fin? Does he even deal with the totems? There's a lot of stuff that he can deal with, and he doesn't have any board core to get rid of it. Because again, getting rid of 1 minion actually is going to end up doing the Mana Tide, but getting rid of 1 minion is just like getting rid of 3 damage roughly with the Bloodlust.
Yeah, but that Flame Tongue Totem is it's going to come in handy here, as that defender only has got 4 health at this point. A couple options. He can try to ramp up some of his Jades. I've not been able to play any Jade Claws or anything with the Eye of Blackpaw. Beautiful gold Eye of Blackpaw.
Pay to win.
Again, yeah, exactly. So this Mage is cards, and the later this game goes, I think the more in favor it becomes for the Mage. But the reason why this Token Shaman deck is so good is that there are many ways to it. There is that Evolve, there is that Bloodlust, there is the Jades. It has a lot of ways to really cause a lot of trouble for his opponent. And really, he's just kind of deciding which way he wants to go right now. Does he continue on to developing those tokens? Does he want to put that Taunt out along with that Flame Tongue Totem? It's really up to him to see, but we have the Mirror Entity with that Flame Tongue coming out. So and now that's big, because now those totems and that Bloodsail Corsair will die to this public defender, along with giving that Medivh's Valet more attack as well. So
you can actually get
Mirror
through
Entity
it.
There.
Well, it's not going to kill the Medivh's Valet is not going to get the +2, because he can actually kill the Bloodsail. He actually just clears the entire board.
Yep, just clears the board.
Yeah.
And throws down that taunt.
But the thing we're seeing in this Shaman's hand is he actually has a lot of options here. Now, the big thing about Token Shaman is it actually has 2 win conditions it can do. You get the really value way of Token Shaman, where you get the Doppelgangster and a full board, and you do evolve that, and you get all these crazy minions that just win you the board, win you the game off that. Or you just flood the board and you use Bloodlust. And he has the Evolve and he has the Bloodlust, so he has a lot of options. And the Mage does not have an Ice Block either, so he actually can't deal with that. And I might want to do the math. He might have actually had a lethal on board if he didn't deal with that thing from below.
Yeah. The Mage does have, I think, a pretty good... I think the win percentage is... But what we saw just then, though, was really with that Flame Tongue totem, because he is able to keep that Primal Fin totem out, and every time it makes that new Murloc, it's going to make that 1 health really important to get rid of that mage, as it's going to be that 3 damage next to that Flame Tongue totem.
I just did the math there, and if he didn't kill the thing from below, that was lethal with the Bloodlust.
So really good call from Ches on that thing from below. And what, again, I think that's good, worth talking about at this point, actually, is placement when it comes to playing this token shaman. I think we've all made that mistake on putting all the minions to one side or letting patches come out not next to the totem. But you really got to be aware of, especially against a mage too, when you have a lot of wave clear, a lot of ways to get rid of it, and meteors. So you really want to place your minions in a way that meteor isn't going to have a lot of value. As this fire blast comes out and gets rid of that 1 health, the Doomsayer, pretty big
good
here,
draw.
but good draws. He's going to be able to get 2 Jades out as well, along with Aya Blackpaw coming out. So
he's going to have to draw a Flame Strike to deal with this.
Yep, and that's pretty much it, and he doesn't. So no secrets to help out, and this is looking really good for Two-Leg Chair.
The mage has to make a read here and see if he thinks the shaman has Bloodlust, because he might honestly... Oh, he just drew the second Arcane, but I was thinking he might actually Blood Mage Ping to try and draw that extra card, but there's nothing he can do right now. He's just dead. Bloodlust next turn kills him.
Yeah. And he's got to know at this point there's got to be Bloodlust in his hand, because there always is in this situation. I've always considered
there's always Bloodlust.
Yeah, and so I've always considered Hearthstone like poker. I mean, like blackjack. So when you're playing blackjack, there's a mystery card the dealer has. You always gotta assume that that's the best card, and I think Hearthstone's the same way. I always assume, I think, that the Bloodlust is in their hand, or that Pyroblast. When you get below that 10 health, and you're on turn 10, you can pretty much always assume that Pyroblast is in their hand. Not always, but as this Bloodlust comes out and a ton of damage comes down. A nice sportsmanlike, well played coming from both players. And Token Shaman getting the win against the Mage and putting New York on the board 1-2. Still in Marist's hands. They need 1 more win to win the series and maintain their top spot alone in the standings for the Summer League right now. But we are going to take another quick break as we get into Game 4 against Heritage and Paperness. Heritage on New York and Paperness in Marist. Heritage in a must-win situation for Hades. I am Bupasaurus. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Collegiate Star League Summer Hearthstone League. We are here with New York and Marist going head-to-head with New York down 1-2 in the series so far, as we are already in game with Paperness and Heritage both playing Paladin. So we get the Paladin-Mirror matchup, though. I think they're playing different kinds of Paladin, as I'm seeing some Murlocs on Paperness's side and an Alder Peacekeeper and a Rattling Blade and Inequality on Heritage side. So probably a little bit of Murloc on the Heritage side, but Paperness running the aggro shell.
Okay, just give me 1 second, just getting into the game right now.
Yeah, no worries, as the Hydrologist comes out. One of the best voice lines, I think, in the whole game. It makes you just want to rip your heart away. But the Hydrologist not really given a lot of really good options. I think Noble Sacrifice here is probably the best way to go. I don't think he knows that this is a Murloc variant just yet, so maybe might pick up the Redemption, but I would probably go for that Noble Sacrifice as that secret and just kind of hold on to it until he needs it, and that's exactly what happens. The Noble Sacrifice does go down.
The Noble Sac is just a really good value card because it takes a hit for a minion, and especially if he doesn't know yet if this is an aggro paladin or more mid-range or control paladin. So it's just a good one because it either takes a hit from a big minion or it helps kill one of those smaller annoying creatures.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I think on the Hydrologist, I think the 2/2 body is actually nothing to scoff at. It's going to be able to take down a minion a lot of the time, and if you have that getaway at the same time as a second Hydrologist comes down, that's annoying. Going to be able to play that secret right away if he wants to wait before he plays that Noble Sacrifice, and he does get that Kodo. So many good cards to use that Kodo on in the Control Paladin matchup.
Yeah, the Kodo just really good. Gets a minion back, and then you just replay it. Could just go for the Hydrolysis or do one like Aldor or one of his bigger minions. Noble Sac actually going to tank the weapon charge here.
And that feels good. That that Rallying Blade is just so good.
It's it's like when you do the
good Fiery Wind Axes.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that. It's especially when you go into the warrior versus shaman matchup, and you turn 2 Fiery War Axe, but he turned 2 totem into a Stone Claw, and you just feel bad. You don't want to use your charge, or you have to.
Yep, both of them were 3/2, except the Rallying Blade costs 1 more mana than the Fire Axe for some reason.
That's because of the effect.
Yeah, exactly. So Getaway Kodo goes down, and he's going to try to play that Peacekeeper. Not a bad minion for that, honestly.
It's
not really going to use a lot on these Murlocs.
But also not a bad minion for the Tyrion.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, though, what this means is that he's not going to be able to hero power anytime soon. So even if he's not going to be able to play anything on tempo, the Kodo, you don't want a Silverhand Recruit back into your hand. It's just a waste of a card at that point. So I mean, he's got a lot of time before that Tyrion comes out. 3 more turns as Finja, Flying Star, Legendary Murloc comes out. I think was made popular by the Water Rogue deck from previously. It's going to be able to take 2 Murlocs out of his deck and automatically put him on the field. Really looking for those War Leaders, I think, at that point. Consecrate not going to do much unless he equalities, but can't do that in 1 turn right now. The Rallying Blade probably going to go after that 2/3 and letting Finja stay in stealth.
Yeah, and if he couldn't hero power beforehand, he definitely can't now because of the Finja. He just does not. It's just huge value whenever you can draw 2 from your deck and then immediately play them, because you're A, thinning your deck out, and then B, also just getting saving mana from not having to play those cards.
Yeah. However, he might want, if he's thinking next level, right? He could possibly. I'm not saying this is the best thing, but this could possibly happen where he gives him the minion, gets a bunch of the minions, gets 2 Murlocs on the board, puts in some more out on the board because he's feeling confident, and then goes ahead and equality consecrates that all away. So there is a possibility of that happening. Some of the next level of mind games there. The Divine Favor looking really good for this. Going to pull 4 cards out, I think. So let's see what he's going to get. And that Murloc Paladin really depends on that card draw, as he gets his Hydrologist and cool.
Well, it's like a relic from our. It's a relic from Paladin Pass, where like the aggro Paladin, where the entire premise is like getting huge value off Divine Favor. I mean, Reddit was in a uproar about nerfing Divine Favor, how it was such a good card, especially against control, because you were punished for not playing cards.
And I mean, and that takes skill. It's one of the marks of a good player, to be able to pull off those divine favors really well. As the equality constraint comes down, he decides that Finja is too much of a threat, and he's 1 turn away from getting this Tyrion out. That's all he needs, and he possibly might be able to do it here. He might be able to pull off the Tyrion Kodo combo.
Yeah, now looking to see what he got off the second Hydrolysis. Noble Sack also just again good. Good.
If he's going to pull this Repentance, though.
Yeah, well,
that's the right choice.
Or he goes for the greedy play and plays Redemption for the Tyrion play.
Yeah, too.
Does that work, by the way?
Not
Getaway
on
code?
his end, though.
Does it work? He gets a copy of it and then summons the 1/1, or the 8/1, 6/1. There we go.
Oh, I wonder. Someone should figure this out for science at the Twitch chat.
For
something
science
to say about that. As Repentance does come out, and that is the right choice, so that's going to hurt. He is going to get a second Tyrion, so it's really about those Ashbringer charges anyway. But that Repentance is not going to feel good once that Tyrion comes out, as any one of those Murlocs are going to be able to take it down after that Divine Shield goes down as well. As the board gets back to where it was last time, but oh man, what another really good card.
Spike Steed. But he has no way to play it. 6 mana.
Exactly, and he's still got to wait 1 more turn for this Tyrion. Might have to put down the Stonehill Defender. Not going to be able to pull off the Dream.
Oh, those are some very interesting cards.
No, that's not bad. Yes, Stegadon's not a bad card. Not
especially in the
here.
Murloc.
He can play it this turn. Yeah, and that 2 attack is going to be able to take out a couple of them. I think that's a pretty, and honestly, not that bad to get back in his hand.
Yeah, again, like a 2/6 is super good to get back against Murlocs, who, unless you have like a War Leader up or something like that, like they all have like 2 or 1 health. I mean, like Oracle is like an only one I can think of, and War Leader obviously that don't have less than 3 health. So the second one can just take these hits.
Yeah, and they're both gold, so you know he's good.
Pay to win.
Yeah, exactly. So the Rockbull Hunter going to go into the Stegodon. He is going for the Stegodon first. Maybe he's seeing this Getaway Kodo. I think Getaway Kodo, I feel like, is probably the most common secret that the Hydrologist pulls out. That's one that I would expect, as he is able to make it so none of his minions die at this moment in time. The only thing that is at risk is that Cold Light Oracle, but he's not going to need to, as he is. He needs to pull another Consecrate at this point if he wants to clear that board, except for that.
I think this next play kind of determines, like, it comes down to how well Heritage reads this. The Paladin has a secret. Yep. He's probably very tempted.
On turn 7, so kind of a telegraph. He
probably really wants to play the Tyrion this turn. If he plays Tyrion this turn, I think he's dead. Oh, instead, actually going to do Spike with Steed into that. That's actually pretty good.
He knows. Yeah. I feel like he knew it was Repentance.
Oh, that's not.
And so a bunch of War Leader comes out. Yeah. These are going to be huge. That Steed probably not going to be enough here. I think that is lethal. 14 damage.
Takes 2 minions. He has to do 2 minions, so he has 6.
He needs to do 13 damage here first.
Yeah.
So he's got that 13, and then
5,
here's a 6
8.
coming
it's lethal. Oh, wait, no. So he does that. He has 13. He's 1 off.
Yeah. 1 off from lethal. NA lethal, man. What can I say? But Repentance still going up there. He's taunt minions on board that he can play.
Oh, Forbidden Healing.
Forbidden Healing, though.
But that means
he's going to be able to play this.
He gets 18 off of it, right? Because it's 2 for every mana he spends. So he goes back up to 19. Yep. But he has 8, 12, 17 on board, so he just goes back down to 2.
So if he is trying to play around Repentance, he will put out the Stonehill Defender first, then the Stegodon, and then maybe
I would Forbidden Healing after that. Forbidden Healing
just to get a little bit more health. That the equality
would make it so he
doesn't
can't
affect
trade.
the. Well, but with the War Leader out there, the equality is still going to give. He's still going to give an extra health, so none of these minions are going to have 1 health. He does want to consecrate, though. That'd still be good. An equality consecrate would still wipe the board.
Yeah, it just comes down to what Heritage just. Yeah, going to go with you said Boop, Stonehill into Stegodon, and then hopefully just heals him. Instead
he's actually deciding to forbidden. The rope might put some pressure on him at this point. I do appreciate that he took the amount of time to think about it, but
this play loses if he draws another War Leader. Okay, no, he's safe for 1 more turn.
He is safe for 1 more turn. However, these Burlocks are just going to get stronger. That equality, though, going to look good after this Gold Light Seer comes down. Yeah, but he just needs to consecrate, and I don't know with what's in his hand he's going to be able to handle this past another turn. Unless he picks up some amazing top minion from that Stonehill Defender in place of the Stegodon.
Well, the thing is, he's going to have 7 mana, so you can't, like... It's not like he can get, like, an Ironbark or one of those, like, really big top minions for, like, 8 or 9 mana. So, anything he gets... Oh, that's gonna help. That's really good. Clear the board. That clears the board. Oh my god.
Yeah, that top deck, good at Hearthstone, top deck and what he needs. That Repentance doesn't matter really to him. He's probably feeling really good. Ooh, with the Megasaur coming down. He has so many targets on that next one. That Primordial Drake showing why that is such a good card right now, as the Murloc Tidehunter is going to come down. But he does have 1 health. That Megasaur going to be able to adapt 3 different minions. And the Summon 2 1/1 plants might actually be the way to go here.
It's the best one for him.
So he makes sure that he has minions on the board when these things die. So even a Consecrate is not going to be able to do it. I mean, he could pull off another Drake. Acolyte of Plane, not going to do anything. He does have the Stonehill Defender and the Tyrion. Might be going for multiple taunt minions here. Tyrion might not be the best choice.
Yeah, I'd probably just flood my board at this point. Play the Stonehill, play the Stegodon, and play whatever, get off the Stonehill if I can. Because the Murloc Paladin's out of cards. He can't do anything at this point. He just played top decks. So the thing is, the other Paladin is on 1 health. So if he gets through the taunt, he's dead.
So he's got to keep going up. The Abomination.
No, he can't play that. No, he can't.
Oh no, that's right, because he'll do it 2 fates, not like Primordial. True, that would have been amazing with 3 health or more. That's not what's gonna happen as the Outdoor Peacekeeper comes down. But he actually decides to go with to get rid of the high attack damage on the buffed Tidehunter.
But it makes sense though, because again, as I said earlier, the Murloc Paladin just has to get through this taunt wall. Once he does that, he wins. But without strong minions, he can't. I mean, he doesn't even have he barely gets to the Stonehill off this board right now. So getting through the Stegonauts already, and then he has a Tyrion and a Curator to get through. And if I recall correctly, Paladin doesn't have any way of dealing damage behind a taunt wall. Like, they don't have the fireballs, and no one runs Hammer of Wrath anymore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a text Consecrate, maybe not.
Oh, there's a second Consecrate.
Is that Consecrate? However, he's got some choices, because the Curator will pull his second Drake. So if he thinks that he can get 2 different versions of Wave Clear on the board, he might go for that. He is going to be able to get rid of all of the Seedlings. So yeah, he's going to want to Consecrate this turn. But that actually would make the Vilefin Inquisitor will still live. So he is going to leave that up, but he is going to have the rest of that Stegodon to go through. Some really good play from Heritage, not panicking on 1 health with 4 turns so far. Great game so far.
Yeah, if I was Paper Nest, I'd be so demoralized right now, because he's just trying the top deck and trying to get something to get through this taunt wall. And the thing is also, like, as I said earlier, the Heritage has a Tyrion, he has a Curator. There's And the Murloc Paladin just thrives on trying to get through try to kill you before you can play those cards. And now he can play those cards anytime he wants. Even then, even if he draws the second Divine Favor in his deck, that's not going to do anything because Heritage has no cards in his hand. So he can't even just easily refill his hand.
Yeah, he's got what he needs. I mean,
and then I'm stamping Hodo.
Oh no!
Oh my god, dude, this is
on those buff with the health Murlocs there. He doesn't necessarily need to use it right now.
Oh no, I'd Curator here.
Yeah, and get that Primordial Drake with that 8 health is going to be huge on the taunt for this next turn. You know, we thought that Tyrion Deathwing coming out instead.
Oh, he doesn't have another Primordial. That's interesting.
So, or he might. It just might still be in his deck.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Only
one dragon. A dragon. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Letting that Acolyte of Pain, the Sunkeeper Tarot.
Oh my god.
That's another good card. So we have a Control Paladin getting to play his control game right now. And it has been a thrilling matchup so far with Heritage at 1 health for 5 turns now. Rallying Blade not going to do much as these 1-attack Murlocs aren't going to do anything to these taunt minions. Basically, it's just the top deck wars continue as he is still at 20 health. So Heritage still has a little ways to go because he doesn't have a lot of attack damage on his board either. But
there's another Spiker Steed. I just don't.
It's going to help with that.
Yeah, I don't know how Papa Nasir is going to get through this taunt wall. He has a sunk. There's the Wicker Flame too to heal him back up.
So he's going to be able to Wicker Flame and Spike Ridge. Wicker Flame. He's actually going to get 4 health for every amount of damage that that Wicker Flame is gonna get. So it's really up to him on how he wants to handle this right now. He's got a couple different options. He can take down one of the Murlocs with a Kodo. He can sacrifice a little bit of damage on to the Curator if he wants to kill the board. He definitely wants to keep the board clear just in case that second War Leader comes out and does anything that could put Heritage at a disadvantage. But once the Control Paladin makes it into that late game, especially over an aggro deck, it's really the game is in his hands and his to lose at this point.
Now, the
even
thing
with
is,
that 1 health.
If Heritage was a real man, he'd just drop the Deathwing and just let RNGs decide this game. You know, like just decide if the Murloc gets some way of doing 1 damage to him, and that Blessing King is not going to be able to do anything. But other than him doing that,
I don't think handy about 5 turns ago.
Yeah, but other than Heritage dropping the Deathwing, there is really no way of winning that. And
Heritage living on the edge and getting that victory with 1 health for almost that entire game, it felt like. So really a good win from Heritage, and I think that is the win for Marist as well. So Marist takes the series.
Was he?
Oh no! Actually,
yeah, that's on New
York.
So it's a tied series.
So we have tied it up 2-2. So we are on Game 5 once again from that last time. So sorry about that, guys. Heritage is on New York, and the grudge match that I keep referring to is still in play. As Sniper Time and Sean Conway will be the deciders for this series, and this is huge for New York. The reverse sweep is real at this point.
Yeah, like this happened last time. The last series between these 2 colleges was a 3-2 in the favor of where it's called. Oh my god.
Of Marist.
Marist, there you go. Yeah, so NYU pulling the reverse sweep would get them that sweet revenge that they're probably wanting for the last time. And then not only that, but Marist is currently leading 5-2, I believe. And if NYU wins this series, they tie them with 5-3 records.
Yeah, so they would share the top spot with each other, and going into the playoffs in a couple weeks, that seeding is exactly what they need. So we are going to take a quick break before this last match, this Game 5 between these 2 schools, the New York Violet Teachers and the Marist Conmen, will be coming at you right after the break.
Alright, everybody, we're going to restart the stream real quick. We'll be back shortly.
Driving up the hill, looking at the girl, hand barely on the wheel. Got nowhere to go, but we can take it slow. How you brought me home, I guess I'll never know.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CSL Summer Hearthstone League. We are in the midst of a thriller right now with New York and Marist, the Violet Teachers versus the Conmen, going to Game 5. Marist had a quick 2-0 sweep kind of going at the beginning, and New York has taken it back, tying it up 2-2. So we have got Hem and Sean becoming the deciding factor in this New York versus New York Hearthstone battle. So, Hades, I'm excited.
I'm extremely excited. I was really worried this was going to be a 3-0 sweep by Marist, and I'm very happy that NYU pulled it back, especially the last Paladin game. That was on the edge until he pulled that Primordial, and that was an amazing Hearthstone right there.
Yeah, 1 health for about 6 turns or more, man. It felt like forever. And he was able to pull it back and keep New York on the way to the reverse sweep. But hey, as we are going through this match, remember that registration for next season is ready to go here soon. So keep an eye out on that. So follow us on all of our social media. So on Twitter, that is at StarLeague. And on Facebook, it is facebook.com/Collegiate StarLeague for announcements on next season. So if you've got a team, if you want to get in on this, you want to represent your school, go for it and register, and you'll see when in here in a few days and weeks. So we are going into Game 5 right now, and again, we keep saying the importance of this, and this is for number one. This is for either a share when it comes to New York, or the sole portion of it for Marist. So this is it. This is going to be who is on the top of the league standings right now, and who are you rooting for? Not who you rooting for. Who do you think?
I can't
right now
cast a
has
bias
momentum?
into this.
That's true. You don't want to cast your curse to anybody. So who? What do you think is going to happen here? What is Hem looking to do, and what is Sean looking to do?
I honestly don't know. I mean, we've seen a variety of decks from both sides, from both NYU and Marist. So I honestly can't predict what they pull out. I mean, Boop, you were going over the statistics earlier. What do these players like to play?
So it's looking like Sniper Time is the Priest player, but has New York played Priest yet? I don't think so. So he could play his Priest, and Sean is also a Priest player, but we did see a Priest get that victory as well. So we are, really could be anything. I think the momentum, anytime I see the reverse sweep get to 2-2, I feel like the momentum is always on that, resurging side. So that would be on the Violet Teacher side. And, when it comes to Marist and when it comes to Sean, he's got to just keep it together and stay calm. Yes, they have lost 2 games in a row, but this is it. He can stop that right now, as we are now getting into the game. Sean against Hem, to see who will be the victor of this series. We're going into Game 5 of the New York Violet Teachers and the Marist Conmen. And Hem is getting to play that Priest, and Sean playing that Shaman.
So the Priest versus Shaman matchup honestly comes down to how well the Priest draws early. If he gets that Potion of Madness early to trade minions into the Shaman's minions, and gets the Radiant Elementals and just gets the pains that he needs for the Flame Tongue, the Primal Fin, or the Manatide, he'll be in a good spot. But doesn't look like that from the hand. Only thing early he can play is a Coin Tar Creeper, which is a still good play, but not the really efficient on curve stuff he wants to be doing.
Yeah, I think the Control Priest actually has a pretty good shot here. I think the matchup is favored on their end, as there are a lot of ways to get the board clear that he needs, and that way, you don't need a lot of them, because all you need is 2, and that is Dragonfire Potion. So if he is able to take care of those minions, there is nothing to Bloodlust. Even the Doppelgangster Evolved play with that Dragonfire might be nullified, because that will also happen on that turn 6, as he's going to go for the quick Cleric Power Word Shield, get that card draw going, and get that Cleric strong so he can keep drawing those cards, and he draws into a great turn 2, which is that Radiant Elemental.
I am actually going to have to restart this game real quick, because I do not see that he drew a Cleric.
All right, so as he gets going on restarting that game, I will try my best to let happen. Sean right now is head, and he shouldn't put that he shouldn't go for the J Claws at all, because that's just going to give a reason for that Cleric to soak damage and draw cards. And I think he goes for the right play here, which is getting that Primal Fin Totem out, getting those minions out. But the Priest will be able to draw a card here, maybe even next turn. It's really up to him if he wants to drop that Radiant Elemental this turn. Not going to get a lot of value of it, not a power word shield in his hand, but he is going to drop it, get that minion out there, as he's going to take out another 1/1. That Cleric is now down to 4 health. And there is no way, for this Shaman to get rid of that Cleric, but that devolve, and that is what he chooses to do. That cleric is now a wisp.
Yeah, there's like counterpoints to both plays you could have done there. I personally play control priest like very slow, so I would have just hit and healed because I'm not in a rush really, and as you see, the Radiant Elemental they get punished there, and he could have gotten like card draw value out of the priest, draw that Dragonfire potion, which he's gonna need, or he just drew a Shadowwood Horror, which is really good in this matchup.
That tech card, Shadowward Horror coming down, that's actually going to have a lot of value. Especially if he's able to get out that Jade Lightning. It's going to nullify it.
I wonder which one of these.
Jade Lightning of his own.
That's really good.
Yeah, the Priest, man, that Shadowward Horror, what a great tech card, especially for this matchup, because that Shaman's going to need a lot of those cards to last on this next side, and he's just feeding it at this point, as that he's probably like, oh, that Light Warden, oh, he's going to heal himself, he can't heal his own characters now. Joke's on you, I've got a Shadowward Horror, that's a card in this game.
Yeah, and even like saving the Shadowward Horror for a bigger board is like, not even like... like it's actually a bad play here because the Shaman only has 2 cards left, so doing this right now, he's not gonna be able to flood the board as easily as before. Because now the Shaman has 4 mana to flood the board again, and he can't with 3 cards.
It's like, sometimes it's like when you like pop that pimple and it just feels so good. That's a very similar feeling to I think what I just felt clearing that board, just that utter feeling of satisfaction. But like any token shaman, can refill that board pretty quickly with that Jade Claws, with the hero power, and the Doppelgangster is up already. At least the Trailblazer are actually pretty good time to play that if he wants. Going to be able to soak a lot of those minions in.
Yeah, the only thing you have to worry about the only thing you have to worry about is a Jade Lightning to get rid of it, but again, at least it's just like, you're more worried about the Angora pack that she gives you, and it's like, oh, you get a 5/5 along with it too.
Yeah, and he's got the Shadow Visions in hand, so he's going to want to try to Shadow Visions that second pack, and then see what comes out of that. And that is any card from Ngoro. I love the fact that Elise is technically still in the game. Not the Elise that she used to be. Yeah. No golden monkeys, but she's looking for him.
By the way, I swear it's not always a random card. I'm pretty sure you always at least get an epic or a legendary. Not like any sort, it's just I've always gotten a legendary or a rare. And sometimes a golden legendary because I'm a pay-to-win player.
Yeah, not everyone can be as good at Hearthstone as you, Hades.
Oh, man, I'm super skillful in this game. Alright, go ahead and pull out the Shadow Vision. I'd take the Potion Madness here.
So I think this is interesting. I actually think he should have waited to at least play the Trailblazer. I think he's choosing this Elemental as a better play at this point, but he could have had 2 packs, Goro packs there. Not a lot of other spells in his hand.
Well, the thing about the Angora pack is that there is that that element of randomness, and he could have just made the call there that he's like, okay, I'm going to Shadow Visions here because I know my pre-spells are a lot more valuable than drawing another pack. Having like 3 Shadow Pains, having 3 Potions of Madness, or in his case, he pulled the Death actually. Like he views that as more valuable than 5 random cards he could get. Because you can actually draw like complete crap from a Nagaro pack, like something that requires like a warrior card that requires you to have armor or something like that.
I mean, but at the same time, there's always those 2 ends to that argument. Sometimes there are amazing cards, and sometimes there are 3 mists in that pack and corrupting mists, and you just have to look at that for the rest.
Oh, draws patches. That's what every person who runs patches hates.
Yeah, I mean, he could. There's 1 pirate in this deck, and that's that Bloodsail Cultist. Not able to draw that. Patches. Honestly, with the Flame Tongue Totem, if he's able to draw, that's it. That's 3 damage to face right away. With this board getting filled up once again, he's now looking to try to get that Dragonfire Potion. To clear it out.
That could have also been another reason for the Shadow Visions to try and grab an early Dragonfire.
My question is, because of that Shadowward Horror, I wonder what he teched out of that deck. I wonder if he took out possibly a Dragonfire Potion.
Yeah. Is that the second Dragon?
He's got 2 Shadowward Horrors. Oh my god, he's going to clear the board.
This Shaman must be so sad right now. I was actually about to make a comment that if he draws Bloodlust in like the next turn or 2 with this board, he wins. Oh, but this is a good one.
That is that is so great what we just saw. That's exactly what tech cards really putting their opponent off guard, and tilting is a thing. And at this point, he's got one way of doing this, and he's going to evolve here, really hoping not getting a Doomsayer
got a
off
lot
of
of
that.
good value. Got the 4/5, which
6/7
Priest
Ogre.
cannot deal with. 6/7 Ogre and the 5/5. Doomsayer on a Priest, though. Could just play that, try to get some tempo back.
Yeah, he's got the free from Amber, maybe trying to get the taunt minion, but you got to be careful with those totems. You yourself and completely nullify everything that evolve is meant to do. It's happened to me, I think, more than a couple times. So you got to think about that kind of stuff. We are going to see the death go down on the Ogre. Elise is going to take out that 5/5 minion. Some good trades coming out as every priest takes that 4 attack. And Patches might come in handy here. Get rid of that Doomsayer. Patches in the hand.
The one damage he needed. Patches the hero that we need.
Exactly. We didn't deserve him.
And he actually drew the Mana Tide here too, so he's going to be able to refill this hand pretty easily now. And going to be able to summon the totem. So floating that board once again.
Yeah, you know what though? If the priest is able to get another board clear, there's that cultist. It's going to be a lot harder for coming up. That Jade Lightning going down on that Mana Tide totem.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of that because it's just like a game now. But who can board clear can the priest board clear faster than the shaman can flood the board? And the shaman's just looking for bloodlust at this point.
Yeah, and I like this play. I think the positioning here is really important because if he did Shadow Visions of Death. So if that Black Knight does get next to that Flame Tongue, it can be deathed. So it's up to him on how this is going to work out.
The thing is, he has
going to be able to clear the Priest of the Feast, though.
Yeah, he can't really worry about the Black Knight at this point because he's got to clear that Priest of the Feast. Otherwise, the Priest is just going to stay at a healthy health level. And if he just doesn't play greedy with the patches, it's just a 3/1 at that point. That doesn't really do anything. Until he can play another minion, it's basically nullifying one side of the Flame Tongue, which he can't afford to use. Because again, he is running on a clock kind of here until the Priest can stabilize.
Yeah, gonna choose to trade in both into the Priest of the Feast. Ooh, good totem here actually. Is that really help? Yeah, that 1 damage isn't going to do anything to anybody at this point. As that healing totem is going to be able to heal it up when the time comes. But we're going to see a free from Amber here, really wanting that with that Medivh, but unable to draw that Medivh.
Cycle first.
He is going. Oh, and he cannot draw a card here. And going to choose to go free from Amber last. Good order there. Always try to draw first. Yeah. And he's looking for a taunt minion.
Or a Charge Devilsaur.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's a good way to get rid of Flame Tongue Totem. But there is nothing in the hand of Sean at this point, so putting down a big minion could work, but it pretty much acts as a taunt at that point. But he chooses to put down the Devil's Store, get rid of get the best of all the worlds, right? Get rid of the totem. It's gonna pretty much has taunt on at this point. Shaman doesn't have anything in his hand right now, so he's gonna have to top deck something that's gonna be able to deal with it because he cannot kill it this next turn, but he can now because he's got a Bloodlust.
So the thing is, Sean needs one more turn for this Bloodlust to be lethal. He has 14 damage with the Bloodlust because he has 5 on board and 9 from the Bloodlust. So he needs one more turn, and then for the Priest to not kill 2 minions next turn. Which is actually possible.
It is possible to leave. Well, the Knight needs to stay on.
Oh, the taunt.
For that to happen. But the taunt totem is very, very annoying. Might set up Sean for that lethal on this next turn. It's exactly the totem you want to roll. Of all the totems, he gets the one he needs, and only the Devilsaur at this point can get it. He has to pull a Shadow Word Pain, and he doesn't. He pulls the wrong one. That 4 attack though, making his life miserable because
I actually miscalculated
about it.
I actually miscalculated because he will heal this turn, so he'll be 1 off, I think. unless he draws another wave. Damn it! Let me hang on. I'll do the math again.
So as Hades is doing that math, the cleric is going to come out, and I think he will be at this point in time, will be able to draw a card if he so chooses, but he chooses to go face because he is predicting that bloodlust.
Oh my god! Okay, it doesn't
true,
matter anymore.
I don't think it matters because that Jade Lightning is going to come out, and Sean pulling it out for Marist there, getting that top deck of top decks with that Jade Lightning. And the Healing Totem going to finish him off, and Marist wins the series 3-2 against the New York Violet Teachers. Really great job, Marist. You really deserve this. Really good victory. And once again, the Conmen over the Violet Teachers.
Yeah, some really good Hearthstone. I was actually just about to say that he had 14 damage on board there, and he needed to draw 2 more damage, so it was like the Jade Lightning, the Jade Claws, some sort of charge. He might have teched in, I don't know. But just some way of dealing 2 damage to win that game, and he drew the Jade Lightning, which is how Hearthstone sometimes works.
Yeah, so Marist wins the state of New York. And before we go, I want to say thank you to Twitch. Nothing but gratitude for Twitch, as they are the greatest streaming platform out there. All of the CSL events will be streamed on Twitch. And also be on the lookout for opportunities to get involved with Twitch. Just follow them on Twitter, which is twitter.com/Twitch, or Facebook.com/Twitch. I am at Boopasaurus. Follow me on Twitter at @BoopasaurusRex.
And I'm Secure Hades. Follow me at Twitter at secure_Hades.
So we are CSL, and that was Marist pulling off the victory against New York in a thrilling 5-game series for CSL and Hades. I am Boopasaurus. You guys have a good night.